All right, hello. What's up? It's Gokuma. Welcome to the channel. And tonight we're going to be playing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the game for the SNES. And we're just playing that one. Originally, my plan was to play both the SNES version and the Sega Genesis version. But I think tonight I'll just stick to one of them. Not that these games are too long to beat individually, but compared to the other games, they're definitely should be on the longer side. Maybe they should be. They should definitely be on the longer side. Um. So yes, that's my plan. My plan is just to play Power Rangers for the SNES and call it a night and save the Sega Genesis one for another day. So last time I streamed, which was last night, and I played through the both handheld versions of Power Rangers, the movie, the game, for the Game Boy and the Game Gear. Both games, like I think the Game Gear, actually no, both of them didn't really follow the plot of the movie at all. To be honest, none of them really do. Maybe the most accurate might be the Sega Genesis one, but we'll go over that when we get to that point. Um, so yeah, in the Game Boy game, so what's interesting with the Game Boy game is that you play unmorphed, and I think in the previous Game Boy game you didn't, but in this one you play unmorphed, but you're in the ninja outfits that they receive in the movie. But then as you're playing through the game, um, you know, so a lot of like the locations and levels were stuff like that was completely made up, like for the game, like nothing was based on the movie. The only thing that really they took from the movie was you fought a Tengu warrior, which is I think that might be the only, unless like the Sega Genesis one, you if you fight the Tengu warriors, I don't know. But that might be um that might be one of the few games, or might be the only game where you fight a Tengu warrior. I'm not positive. I could be very wrong. I don't remember. I don't recall. Um, but definitely that pig dude, who you see in the movie, and that's it. He's in the game, and then there's a rat monster there because there's supposed to be a rat monster in the movie, but it looked like shit and it looked stupid. So they changed it, but because I'm sure when they were developing the game, they were going by like maybe stuff that they had filmed at the time or something, and they probably saw that. And um yeah, the Power Rangers, actually the Power Rangers movie had like some bad ideas that had to be changed, but we'll go into that in a bit. What else? Okay, and then you fought Goldar. Goldar does show up in the movie, but they don't really fight him or anything. He's kind of just there. Same thing with Lord Zed. But in this one you fight him, and then you fight Ivan Ooze at the at the very end, and that's kind of it. And there's like not really much in the way of story, and there's no Zord battles or anything like that. So that's the extent of the accuracy for the Game Boy version of the game. For the Game Gear version of the game, yeah, no, it starts out like where you're thinking like Lord Zed is the big bad, and the first few levels are spent like sending his monsters and stuff, and you're fighting putties and things like that. Um, but then all of a sudden, you get to the Ivan Ooze part of the story, but it's a very short part of the story. Like it's almost like, and there's barely no transition. It's like you go from like dealing with Zed and his monsters, and then all of a sudden like Ivan Ooze, and then you fight his ooze men for a whole level, and then like, and then the game goes through like all this exposition to basically explain the movie, where they were like, oh, the Power Rangers had to go to like this planet, and they met so and so, and they and she gave them the power of the ninja, and then they went back to Earth and they got new Zords, and we're just gonna go like straight into the end of the of the story. So uh yeah, so it went from, yeah, like Power Rangers fighting the Ooze Men to like Ivan Ooze, destroying their base and stuff like that, to like the Power Rangers getting their powers and everything, and then coming back, and then you fighting Ivan Ooze at the end as the Ninja Megazord. And yeah, that they pretty much just explained the rest of the movie. So yeah, the SNES version, from what I remember, is not very accurate either. I think the only thing that maybe might make it accurate is, you fight Ivan News at the end. Like that's it. I don't think there's like anything that addresses the movie at all, like whatsoever. What was interesting about the Game Boy version of the game was that in the Game Boy version of the game, they did try to make their suits look like the movie suits. And that's the only version of the game where they tried to do that. All the other versions of the movie game like stuck to the same design from the series. Not that it looked very good in the Game Boy version. Like it looked kind of bad. Sorry. I didn't realize this was so loud. Um, but yeah, I know, I from what I remember, it's been literal decades since I've played this game, and no, I don't think it follows like the plot of the movie at all, like at all. The Sega Genesis kind of does, kind of, but the SNES one, like, I don't think it does whatsoever. So, yeah. So yesterday I talked about, like everything that was going on with Power Rangers up to like the movie and whatnot. So yeah, let's talk about Power Rangers the movie for a bit. So Power Rangers the movie would release after the second season of Power Rangers was over. And I thought maybe for sure like this would be like a continuation of the series, but it would end up not being the case, and we'll get to more about that. Um so but anyways, yeah, so Power Rangers the movie came out like that summer after the second season was done, like 1995, I guess. And I don't know, it's just as much of a big hit that Power Rangers became. And I don't know if maybe like the honeymoon phase is like over or something, but unfortunately the movie did not become the hit that they would have liked it to be, or thought that was going to be. And it's not like a totally bad movie or anything like that. To be honest, it's not a bad movie. It is not a bad movie. Neither of the Power Ranger movies that they came out with, that and the Turbo movie, are bad in any way. The reboot one that they came out. It's kind of meh. Like I saw it, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad either. I think I think I enjoyed watching it when I was watching it, but other than that, there were I don't really care. Like I'd rather watch like the OG, my Morphin Power Rangers movie, or even the fucking Turbo movie. But yeah, so with this movie, I mean, I don't know where the fuck do I start to like fucking explain this shit. So it kind of, so they tried to give it a budget, and that was kind of seen in the design where the Power Ranger suits were not like spandex anymore, and they were just made to look completely different and stuff like that. And but I feel like two mixed results. It's like at times they look good, at other times not so much. It kind of like, I don't know, just depends on the angle, and where the shot is, and how far is it. And yeah, um at times like the suits look cool, at times like not so much. And from what I heard, like those suits are also like very heavy. Like I think they're like, I don't know, like 20-pound suits, maybe more. But they were pretty heavy suits from what I heard. I think Amy Jo Johnson like ended up developing like back issues or something from like wearing those suits. Um and then another silly thing that they were gonna do was that they had this idea where they were like, this is a movie, like we need to like show their faces somehow, some way. So what their idea was, they were going to like remove the mouthpiece and the visor part of the mask, like just completely remove it, and then that way you can like partially see like most of their face or something like that. And there's pictures of that, and it looks stupid. It looks fucking stupid. And I don't know whose fucking idea that was to try to do that. At the very least, if they're gonna do something like that, they probably should have modified the helmets in some way so it didn't look so fucking stupid. It's still a stupid idea, but fortunately, people realize like, nah, this looks bad. Like, give them back all their shit. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm kind of tired. So, um, yeah. So back to the movie. I'm still trying to figure out where the fuck to go from here. So Rita and Lord Zed, they still show up in the movie, but they don't really like do anything. They do, I think they free Ivan Ooze or some shit, and but then he backstabs them, so that kind of takes them out of play for the entirety of the movie. Um, the villain of Ivan Ooze, like, very much is in line with what they've been doing up to this point. But he probably, I think he was a good villain. I think I think, and and the actor and stuff. I think he was a good villain. What else? What else about that movie? So, so in this movie, the Power Rangers now have to get like they lose their powers, and then they have to go to like another planet to get their powers back. And they meet this one lady, this one hot lady, who gives them like ninja outfits and stuff, and is like, if you want like these like ninja powers or whatever, like there's like this temple that you have to go to, but you have to fight like their warriors and stuff. And that's what they ended up doing. um they go back to Earth. They now have new Zords. And that kind of brings up the next problem. Is So first off, there's a couple problems I have with the Power Rangers movie. um One is that I don't feel like the movie has a lot of action, like, at all. The only action sequences is, granted these are fairly long sequences, so I shouldn't bitch too much about it, but maybe it's the fact that they're not like well paced enough. But the the first action sequence, which is also a pretty long one, happens, like a little bit after the movie started. The Rangers fight the Ooze Men, and they fight them like unmorphed and whatnot. But then, of course, they get overwhelmed, and then the time comes where they have to morph into Power Rangers. When they're Power Rangers, they continue to fight with the Ooze Men. But I don't think it's that long of a fight. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. But still, between that and the human portion of the fight, it's still like a pretty long action sequence. When they go to the planet Phaedos to meet that lady, they do get into fight with the Tengu warriors, but it's a pretty short fight, and it's not that of an entertaining fight because the Power Rangers are struggling, um, fighting them. And then the next fight would be, when I don't know, when they would have to fight like a couple dead dinosaurs, and then the warriors, that they had to beat to get the ninja powers and stuff. Um, but other than that, like, that's pretty much it. And then of course, like, you get a Zord battle, but it's not really all that. Like, the CG that they used looked really bad. Like the Ninja Megazord, looks like dog shit. Like, the CG is really bad. Is like really really bad. Like, motherfuckers, you could have just stuck to people in suits and shit. It worked fine. Same thing with the spandex, but nah, they had to do something different. Other than that, I don't think there's like anything else like worth talking about. But I did see the movie in the theaters, and like I said, I thought it was all right. I thought it was an all right movie. It was at least enjoyable enough that I would watch it a few more times. I do have my gripes with it, but I I do enjoy watching it from time to time. And then I guess I'll say, for like, what happened to Power Rangers after this movie. Yeah, I think that's what I'll save it for. So, anyways, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. So we should probably get started because this game is gonna take a fair bit. Um, so to talk about this game is very similar in look to to the previous SNES game, but there are things about it that's kind of like step backwards from it, and you'll see like when I start playing. One of the notable things, or noticeable things, is the game is two players. which was something that was lacking in the previous game, though understandable also for the type of game that it ended up becoming. But this game is a two-player game, but you're still it still doesn't play like a traditional beat 'em up where, you get to like not only walk left and right but up and down. It's much similar to the previous game, except instead of having like one lane, you have two lanes to jump in between. It's kind of dumb. Another big change was when you morph. So now you're trying to pick up power-ups, and when you pick up enough power-ups, you can morph, as opposed to the previous game where you have to fight unmorph till you get to a certain part of the level, then you morph and then continue on. And also they changed up health. In the previous game you had like a really long health bar. In this one, you have a much shorter health bar. In fact, it's a health bar that has like 5 bars in it, and each time you get hit, like a whole bar is lost. And there's no Zord battles. There, there's no Zord battles, so that's kind of disappointing. It was this was it's an all right game. Oh, and also the unmorphed rangers or even the morph rangers, like they don't do combos or anything. They just like hit, and that's it. So the previous game they would do combos, but yeah, this game just feels like steps backwards. Like I don't know if it was done by the same team or just a different team, and they were copied a little bit from them, but not completely. I ended up getting this game, I think the summer that the movie came out, and of course I wanted the SNES version because I thought like if it was gonna be like the previous game, then cool. Because over on the Sega side, if their movie version of the game was gonna be just another bad fighting game, I don't want it. I want the SNES version then. But little did I know anything. I didn't know this game would just kind of be all right and not really more enjoyable, at least to the previous game. Mm. So yeah. Uh, what else? Oh, I've also I have beaten this game without cheating before when I was young. It's not a too it's not really that difficult of a game, but it does take probably like a few playthroughs to get through it and know what's best to dealing with enemies and bosses or certain parts of the game or whatever. So, every little bit helped to try to get to the end of the game, which eventually like I did, maybe after a few playthroughs. But for tonight, no, I'm definitely cheating. I'm definitely fucking cheating because I don't want to be doing shit repeatedly. I want to beat this in one go, and that's that. So, all right, let me fix my screen real quick. And all right, we're getting ready to start. don't know why it says it's like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie featuring Ivan Ooze. The title screen does look cool though. Not gonna lie, it does look cool. I'm just letting the music play, don't mind me. I think there's enough levels. If I'm not mistaken. This is something I probably should have checked. Because I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure there's at least that there's at least like the same number of levels as there are rangers. That's one level. 2 levels. 3 levels. 4 levels. 5. Okay, there's actually, I think there's 7 levels. I was kind of thinking that because I'm like I said, this has been decades since I last played this game, but I knew that there was at least 1 level for each ranger, but there was enough where you could play as a ranger twice. So anyways, yeah, so we're gonna start with Tommy. Also, I don't think this is like the greatest character portraits. Alright, we're gonna go with Tommy. So you can see, if you remember from the previous game, like this, it looks very similar. And you see like the putty on the upper, like he just kept walking. Okay, that's how I switch. Which I'm gonna have to do because, well, alright, at least cheating works. Motherfucker. If I was in the bottom, I would have been fine. But you can see, like, he just punches them, and they just die. Like in the last game, when you attack, they do like a full combo. But here, nah, they just punch, and that's it. There we go. Tiger Zord. You can do special attacks as a human, but it uses that power. It's like I don't see the point. Like, what's the point of a special attack? Motherfucker. Oh, okay. So when he has full power, he has access to his weapon. Even though in the previous game they already had access to their weapons, but what else? That's why this game just feels like steps backwards from the previous SNES one. So, and then before the power runs out, you can do a special. Could be boss battle. Oh, there we go. Adam next. Mastodon. And you can see that they, you know, obviously when I was playing as Tommy, the White Ranger, like, you know, they kept his design, but everyone else just looks like the Red Ranger, but in a different color. So once again, they didn't fucking try. Oh shit, spikes didn't hurt me? Oh yeah, be careful. I think I could have jumped on that thing. Alright, just come back. I wasn't sure, like, I couldn't remember if I died, if I just had to, like, restart from somewhere, but considering that this game is a two-player game, that's not going to be the case. Oh, I could kill them in the background. That's funny. Oh, whew. I was getting worried. Because, like, nothing was happening. I'm like, did I break the game? I shouldn't have. cannon time. Oh, drops enemies. Good. Bitch. If there was 2 players, they would have gone the other way. Bitch. I think this is like the hardest level to build up power too. Also, just like in the last game, like, music isn't bad at all. Music's pretty good. pterodactyl. But yeah, it's really hard to build up power in this level. Still arena. What's funny is that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe both Kimberly and Billy look the same from their previous game. Even does the same type of punch. Even though by this point in the series, like, he's gained enough confidence with himself, and he doesn't fight like a little wimp. Trying really hard to like hit this, but I can't. I have no idea how I fucking beat this game as a kid, but I did. I know it took like a few playthroughs to do it. Hey, I can... Okay. That was something I didn't know, but I forgot. Triceratops. I remember, like, this is the part of the game that kind of starts becoming a pain in the ass. Buddies with guns. Playing with the dude with a lance and has such short range. Yo, Demon Kicks. What's up, dude? Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know today was my anniversary of me being affiliate. But thank you. Alright, sounds good. Magnet Brain. Yes, go Power Rangers. I've been playing through all the old Mighty Morphin Power Ranger games. And I made up to the movie portion of the games. Next, gonna go with Aisha. Okay, I can't hit that. I'm going Street Fighter 2 on this bitch. Motherfucker. Saber-tooth tiger. Yes, again, hit race. Motherfucker. Please. Dude, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I beat this game without cheating when I was a kid. I'm gonna lose my power up that I got. Just gonna use it for the hell of it. Yeah. It sucks that you can't choose like when to use it. Especially when levels start becoming more platformy. Silverhorn. Yeah, I can grab on that. Tyrannosaurus. Oh. Yeah, I think this is just a made-up enemy. Like, I don't recall this in the show at all. Yeah, like, am I fighting Mother Brain? Alright, this should be the final level. And now we finally encounter Ivanus. Tiger Zord. Oh, so we just go straight to the boss fight? I guess so. But I know there's gonna be some bullshit at the end. Because I'm not mistaken, like, you beat him and then you have to escape his castle in your time. Power Rangers escape now. Alright, just in case, I'm gonna save state. Because I don't know what happens when if time runs out, like if it like just starts to completely over and you have to do that boss fight again, or if it starts to appear, I don't know. and that's the game. It doesn't even follow the plot of the movie at all. It doesn't even fucking try. You just fight Ivan Ooze at the end. And unfortunately, there's no Megazord battles. There was in the previous game, but not in this one. This one did not have Megazord battles, which is unfortunate. School match: Tommy versus Rocky. I think this is like possibly the only time Bulk and Skull show up in the game. Oh no, I think they were in the ending in the previous game. They only show up in the endings. And yeah, so that's it. That's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie for the SNES. It's not a bad game. I did like it when I was younger and I had this game, and I played it a lot, and I played it enough that somehow I could beat this game no problem. I remember it took me like a few playthroughs before I kind of learned before I learned the game and got good. But I don't think it's a bad game at all. I think it's pretty alright, but it is quite a step down from the previous Power Rangers game. Try hard mode and you can get a secret code. I wonder what that secret code is for. I'm gonna look it up. I definitely did not try to fucking do hard mode for sure. Alright, I'm gonna look this up. Alright. Power Rangers movie hard mode. Okay, I'm just gonna watch a video of someone playing and just get to the end of the video. Alright. Oh, wait. Look for a Power Rangers 3 The Fighting Edition, and they give you a code for the next game that's coming out. It's up, down, left, right, XB, YA, start. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, like I said, I don't think this game is bad or anything. And I did like it. It's just compared to the previous game, it's just not as good. The previous game, at least the characters can when they fought, they can do combos. When they were Rangers, they always had their weapons out, and you had like one special that you can use at any time during the game. But here it's, I don't know, it's made you build up your power so you can turn into a ranger, and then had to build your power again just so you can use your weapons and shit like that. Yeah, it kind of sucks. And there's no Zord battles. That's the other disappointing thing, is that there's no Zord battles at all. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, it's a pretty alright game. If I had my choice over which of the two movie games to get, I would have went with the Genesis one. Which is why, like, I saved that one for last, because, like, the Genesis one is really good. Because that one is an actual beat 'em up. It looks good, it plays good, it sounds good, you have Zord battles, it somewhat follows the plot of the movie. So, but alright. That's gonna be it for me for tonight. I would play the other game, but I mean, honestly, like, it's already getting late and I'm getting kind of tired. So I'm gonna save that game for another day, maybe tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to playing that game. So, but all right. So, have a good night or whatever, and hopefully see you next time. All right, later.